Gen Z is the first generation to have everything they need at their fingertips in order to be a successful artist and make it in the music industry. Social media plays a vital role. Almost anyone can make a song, post it online, and become an overnight sensation. We have more tools than ever to help us and more ways to make music than ever before. You no longer need to go to a music studio to make your records. You can do it all in the comfort of your own home. Artists can build bedroom studios at minimal cost where they can produce an unlimited amount of songs. You might think there's no way the quality can match your favorite rapper considering he records in his $1 million studio, but technology has gotten so good that you really can create quality sounding records in your bedroom. To take this a step further, we now have the ability to make billboard topping songs in the palm of our hands. Apps like BandLab allow artists to produce, record, and mix professional sounding music right from their phone. An example of this is the artist David, who made his Billboard Top 100 song, Romantic Homicide, in his closet using the BandLab app. Artists no longer have to sell physical copies of their music in order to see success. And all that is thanks to the internet. The introduction of the internet not only changed the music industry, but has also shifted the way we live. Almost everyone's life is dependent on the internet, and with Gen Z being the first generation to grow up with this advanced technology, social media, and the internet as we know it, they are also the first generation to be able to take full advantage of all that it offers. The times have changed, and if you don't get with them soon, it's likely you'll be left behind. My name's Cyril with Baywood Audio, and all I ask is you sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. So, who is Generation Z? Gen Z is the generation born in the late 1990s or the early 21st century, perceived as being familiar with the use of digital technology, the internet, and social media from a very young age. Gen Z is anyone born in the late 1990s to the early 2010s, making them anywhere between 11 and 26 years old. Now, you might wonder, what does this generation have to do with the music industry? Well, if you look at the total revenue for recorded music on the RIAA's website and adjust for inflation, you'll notice revenue peaked in 1999. This was also the peak of CD sales, so the numbers make sense. But you'll quickly notice that after that peak, it all came falling down. So what happened? In 1999, Sean Fanning created something called Napster. With the internet's increasing popularity, Sean thought that music's future would be online. So he created a file sharing service called Napster. Napster allowed users to share electronic copies of music stored on their computers with other users over the internet. With the general public being more than satisfied by getting their music for free, there was a group of people who weren't so much a fan, and that would be the labels and artists. Because Napster was free and generating no money for labels and artists, the company quickly ran into legal difficulties over copyright infringement. It ceased operations in 2001 after losing a wave of lawsuits and filed for bankruptcy in June of 2002. But the idea was now out and it didn't die with Napster, as many other websites took its place. But thanks to copyright laws, they never lasted long. But people still loved the idea of being able to listen to free music with ease whenever they wanted. So in 2006, a little thing called Spotify came to revolutionize the music industry. Spotify was similar to programs like Napster, except they found a way to monetize it and have the music available to listen to legally. As these streaming services got more popular, you can see that in 2015, the total revenue for recorded music started to climb back up. Now, why am I telling you this? What does this have to do with Gen Z? Well, because if you were born in Gen Z, it's most likely that these were the ways you consume music growing up. And not just growing up, because this is how we consume music today. Streaming music is the most popular way to listen, and it's ever growing. As of 2022, Spotify alone had over 450 million active users, while Apple Music had 88 million and SoundCloud had 120 million. While these numbers are big, nothing compares to the 2 billion users who will actively listen to music each month on YouTube. This isn't much of a surprise when you realize the top 30 most viewed YouTube videos are almost all songs. The reason streaming is so popular is because it's so easy. You don't need to have a CD player and pick from collections of songs and manually put them in. All you need to do is download an app and pick from millions of songs that get uploaded every day. Streaming is so popular, in fact, that it makes up 83% of the United States music revenue. And that 83% was worth $13.7 billion in 2022. So most would argue that the era of having physical copies of records, CDs, and cassettes is over. But streaming didn't only revolutionize music for listeners, it also changed the game for new artists looking to get into the music industry. And these new artists happen to be Gen Z. With all these new artists starting to make music, lots of them struggle to get that professional sounding quality you hear on your favorite rapper. And that's why Baywood Audio created Vocal Sauce 3. Vocal Sauce 3 is a vocal preset pack for Logic, FL Studio, Ableton, and Pro Tools that helps you get that quality mix and master in just the drag and drop. It comes with lead presets, ad-lib presets, and and master chains, making it the perfect pack to take anyone's song to the next level. But enough talking, let me show you how well it works. So here's the vocal without the preset.
All seems drifting away from me. Nothing seems the same.
And now with the preset.
All seems drifting away from me. Nothing seems the same.
As you can hear, it makes a huge difference, and you can do it in seconds. You can even tweak the few simple knobs and adjust the preset to your liking to get the sound you want from your music. So if you're ready to step up your vocal mixing, head to the first link in the description down below and you can pick up Vocal Sauce 3. And make sure to use code Cyril at checkout for 30% off. Anyways, back to the video. Before the internet and streaming became possible, being an independent artist, meaning not tied to any label, was almost impossible. It could still be done, but it was very hard. This is because the music was everything. If you weren't selling records, then you had no place in the music industry outside of putting on shows. The people who were able to sell the most records were most commonly signed to labels. This is because the labels had the power and the money to make and distribute the music. But now, anyone can make and sell music thanks to streaming and social media. You can record a song using your phone, make a TikTok video, and have it go viral overnight, which not so long ago was unheard of. So you might wonder, why do people still sign to labels? This topic has been discussed multiple times, and there seems to be pros and cons on each side. To explain this, I need to take you back to 2006 when Spotify was made. In order to launch Spotify and have songs to stream legally, Spotify had to make a deal with the labels. In 2006, being an independent artist was rare, so the music on Spotify was mostly licensed from the labels. In exchange for Spotify having these songs for users to listen to, the labels took a large portion of subscription and ad revenue. Not only that, but 3 big record labels, Sony, Universal, and Warner, own an 18% stake in Spotify. So as you can imagine, the labels have a big influence on any decision making. But what does that mean for artists today who aren't signed to labels? Well, Spotify has become the most popular streaming platform by far. As I mentioned earlier, 450 million active users. And according to statistics today, about 80% of Spotify playlists are dominated by labels. So because labels have that control, they are able to put music in front of you that you seem to find organically, but in reality, the labels are deceiving you. But for them, this results in more popularity, streams, and listeners for their artists, which all just generates them more money. So as an independent artist, you are fully at a disadvantage when it comes to competing with labels for playlisting. But how important is playlisting, and how much does this matter? There are many Spotify curated playlists that have millions of people who listen to them. People even listen to certain playlists hoping to hear new songs. For example, New Music Friday. So as an independent artist, landing on one of these playlists can be huge for you, as it will significantly boost your streams, your following, and help get your name out there. With labels having the ability to copy and paste artists on these playlists followed by millions of people, they're able to boost the careers of artists without any real work. So to answer my question, why do people still sign to record labels? At the end of the day, it comes down to opportunity. Signing with a label gives you instant access to multiple resources and opportunities that would be, if not impossible, very hard to get on your own. And that's why most popular artists you know are often signed to huge labels. That being said, it's not impossible to have an independent career in the music industry. A good example of this is Connor Price. He used TikTok and other short-form content platforms to push the success of his music, with viral video ideas to achieve millions of streams on Spotify, being even more successful than lots of artists who are signed to labels. And this is another example of how Gen Z is changing the music industry. Without social media and streaming platforms, Connor Price wouldn't have a career. Not saying maybe he wouldn't have found another way, but his main business plan wouldn't exist. But how hard really is it to make music and use apps like TikTok to push streams on Spotify and make it in the music industry? Is it easier or harder than before the internet? There's really no way to know the true answer to this question, as the circumstances are so different, but I'll give you the insight and information I've learned. When music's popularity started to rise and people started to become famous, there was not as many people doing what they did. So you'd think it'd be easier to be popular and stand out in the crowd. But that being said, the way they stood out back then is not even remotely the same as today. It was impossible to make a post and reach millions overnight. No average person had the ability to make themselves known. And that's where the record labels came in and helped them see success. In my opinion, I feel like the artists who were successful before the internet were almost like they were filling a spot that needed to be filled. They just needed to get in front of the right people. But today, music is so popular that everyone with a phone and a love for music wants to become an artist. So it's so oversaturated to a point where you have to build value in other places. Your music simply just isn't enough anymore. You're not just competing with people you pass on the streets, you're competing with them every day you turn on your phone, every time you scroll through social media. All you hear about is people becoming the next big thing, but now you have to be the one with the idea that can go viral while making music and staying consistent. Otherwise, there will always be someone else just as talented who works just a little harder that will take your place. Gen Z has been given the most opportunities to see success, but it was all given at the same time. So ultimately, success in the music industry comes down to how much work one puts in to surpass competitors and stay on top. I believe Gen Z is innovating the way the music industry will operate for years to come, and they are the best at navigating the new technology that gets thrown at us. Basically what I mean is, if you're still making CDs of your music, it's time for you to catch up or you're gonna be left behind. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment if you have any questions, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.